Hey everyone, welcome to Love to Create by Tonya. Today we're going to be taking some of these little figurines and turning them into charming farmhouse decor. I've got a few of the little frogs that I actually picked those up at Dollar Tree, and there's a little swan here and a cute little pig, and we're going to take those and do that stonewash technique that I had done on the bunnies that I wanted to show you. Now I don't have any more of the little bunnies, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this technique on some of these other little figurines, and then we're going to decorate them for spring in a farmhouse style. Take this elephant colored chalk paint, and I'll be coating all of the little figurines with this dark elephant color of chalk paint. And this is going to be our base color to get that stone wash effect. Now, once you get the little figurines covered with the dark gray chalk paint, you'll want to make sure that they are really dried well before you start applying the lighter tone to the top. Just use this really light gray. And on this technique, you'll want to make sure that your brush is completely dry, and you want to have very little paint on the brush as you're just gently going across the item that you are painting. Now you can see on the little bunnies, I added just a little bit more of the lighter color, but you'll be able to decide which way you want your little figurines to look. Some of mine I did with a darker top coat, and some of them I like to leave a little lighter. Here on the little swan, and I'm going to take actually a very light blue, and it's I think the name is Crystal on this, and I'm going to use one of the little scrubby pads, and I'm just going to add just this little bit of color tone on top, and I think it just makes the swan have just a really neat look to it. And just get creative when you're doing this. The main thing about getting a stone wash effect is just having a darker color as the base, and then you can add lighter colors on top of that. Now let's go ahead and add just a little bit of this ballet color of pink to the little pig, just to make it stand out just a little bit more. And once again, we're using our little scrubby, and you really want to work that in there because you don't want a lot of paint on your brush or your scrubby pad when you're adding that top layer, because you're just really trying to give it a dusting of that color. Take the little Goodwill find wood bunny, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a light gray on this. And I think for me, I'm just going to leave it this and just use it as an accent piece with just the light gray by itself. Build our little pin for our little pig. These little signs I picked up at Dollar General, and these little houses, they were from Michael's. Remove the little pig and the little moo cow from there. Now I decided to go ahead and paint these little houses just with some of the black chalk paint, and just kind of add a little bit of that on that side that I had already had painted gray. Just want to touch up my little pig a little bit and add just a little bit more of the white to the framing of what's going to be the little pin. And I think this turned out great. Just these two little houses and those little picture frames made the cutest little pin for our little pig. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of the moss on top here. And now I'm going to use a piece of foam board to attach to the bottom for the little pig to sit on. And I just use some of the black and gray just to kind of rough it up and give the illusion of like what maybe the ground or dirt would look like. Add a little bit of moss. And you may want to use E6000 for some of this, but Sometimes I take things apart and make other things, so that's why I'm just using the hot glue. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more of the white chalk paint on the outside edges to help give even more of an aged look. I just love this idea of taking the picture frames and then gluing some wood blocks onto the side to form a pin. So I may try this with a bigger picture frame and see what I can come up with. Now, as you can see, I took the little pig that was glued onto the front of the picture frame and attached it to the side there. Now I think we're going to add a few little flowers to this later. Now this is the wood blocks that I had purchased at Goodwill, and I'm going to use this little wood block to put my little stonewash frogs on. I'm just using some of the burlap ribbon that I had left over, and then we're going to go ahead and add some of the green moss to that later. These are the little wood chips that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just gonna stencil the word spring onto these and attach them to the front of the board. Now here in the Blue Ridge, I really love the peep frogs, and when you start hearing them, you know that spring is around the corner. And I'm not normally a frog person, but I think these turned out adorable. Now I'm going to add a little bit of rope twine just across the top of those little wood boards. Now I'm going to take some of my little flowers that I purchased at Michael's and just pop them in between just to have that little bit of spring color. Now I did glue my frogs down just with the glue gun, but you may want to use the E6000. I use the glue a lot because I take things apart to make other things to show you. Now I'm going to go ahead and decorate our little pin for our little pig. And I'm actually just going to use some of the white flowers on this design. And I think it's fun to have these small little accent pieces, and they actually make wonderful gifts. Now let's take our swan and add a little bit of the brighter green moss in there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the leaves for greenery and some of our little pink flowers. And I am going to add a few of my little pearls to this one. And that kind of gives it a little shabby chic feel, but I thought that that would be just a fun little something extra for our little swan. But the swan turned out so beautiful, you could leave it just completely not decorated and just go with that stonewash look. I hope you're enjoying this technique of taking the little figurines and doing this little stonewash look on there. If so, leave in the comments below and let me know what you think and if you would like to see more of these done. Well, there we go, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial of our little figurines with the stonewashed look. If so, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you do so. And I'll see you next time.